Hi, Jay here with Laguna Tools. Today I'm going to do a demonstration setup of the DP series drill presses. This will be the DP20 and the same setup applies for our DX20. Let me get the box open and get the parts out. With the box opened up, you'll want to lift out all the small parts and then the base for the drill press. Make sure to get all of these parts out before you lift the styrofoam out, that way you don't lose any of the parts needed for assembly. The DP20 and the DX20 come nearly completely assembled. The headstock, the column, and the table are all set up inside the box, so you don't have to go through and do a lot of assembly afterwards. The foot or the base is the part you'll need to bolt onto this before you stand it up. And there's a little bit of prep that I like to do to make this a little bit easier. This is really heavy. It's a 2-person or 3-person job to go through and get this stood up. The first thing I like to do is cut away the excess plastic. I open it up, cut away the plastic, get it out of the way, and then I'm going to cut the end of the box, slide the entire assembly down a little bit to bolt the foot on. You'll find that there's some small parts in here sometimes. I'll set those to the side. And I've already taken the foot and the base and I've cleaned it, got it out of the plastic. Now I'll go through, cut the box, slide it down, and then get it stood up. There is a lift hook that you can use, and it threads into the top of the headstock of the drill press. And you can use that for a lift that might be in the ceiling, for a winch or something like that to help you lift the drill press up. And that's advisable if you have fewer people. If you've got 3 or 4 people, it can stand up easily. If there's just 2 of you, you might want to use that lift hook. Now with the help of a friend, I've slid the drill press down, still in the styrofoam, just down about 10 or 12 inches off the end of the pallet. And that gives me room to work to put the base on. But first, I'll trim away some of the styrofoam here. And if you're going to use a lift hook, you may trim away some of the styrofoam on the headstock end as well. Now it's time to install the foot. I'll get this set down next to the machine. This is heavy cast iron. If you need help, get some help to lift it. There are 4 bolts that hold it on and a supplied Allen wrench to bolt it. The bolts will come through the base, the column support. I like to preload those so that they're ready to go. And then as I stand the foot up, I'll get 1, 2, 3 started at a time here, and then tighten them all down. Once I've got the first one started, I'll lift it to align the second one and get this bolt started. Once you have all 4 of them started, then tighten it down with the Allen wrench. Now with the base installed, I'll get some help and stand the drill press upright. Well, we've got the drill press stood up and I've cleared away all the packing material, so now that I can go through and get it cleaned up and get the rest of the assembly going here. It took us 3 guys and we put a little strap through the eye on the top here to lift it up and get it in place. And then once it's standing upright, walked it right over to this position here. Now it's time to clean it up. There's some packing grease and Cosmoline here on the table. Sometimes there'll be a little bit on the side here. So take a few moments, put on some gloves, get a can of WD-40 and some rags. The WD-40 will cut the oil, allow you to wipe it off. When you're cleaning the T-slots, pack the rag down in there and use a screwdriver. Sometimes there can be some sharp edges from machining on there. Just go through and get it cleaned up. Now I'm going to tilt the table. There's a lock handle. Just make sure that you pull it out. And then the lock handle itself, in this case it wasn't too bad. Sometimes those are really tight when they ship them, and then once you have it loosened up, you can just go through and tighten it down by hand. If you need to, just use a small dead blow mallet, or you can use a little cheater bar in that to loosen it up. Now I'm going to install the insert plate for the table. There are 4 screws in the corner, and those are leveling screws, and those are adjusted from the bottom with an Allen wrench. Simply drop the block in place, and then come underneath the table, and take your time to level the plate off. And there we go. Now before installing the chuck, make sure that the taper on the inside is clean. Get a rag and something that's not going to scratch the inside of the bore. Go through and give that a good cleaning and just make sure it's nice and clean. Sometimes just a little light coat of WD-40 would keep you from rusting if you're in humid environments. Now you'll do the same step here for the chuck bore. Make sure that that's thoroughly clean. Now with the chuck on a block, you want to seat the taper. Make sure that the arbor is cleaned as well. Seat that taper first by hand, and then I'll take a dead blow mallet. Make sure that the chuck jaws themselves are retracted inside the body. Set that here and give it a couple of sharp raps with a dead blow hammer. Now we're ready to insert this into the drill press, and we'll use this block to tap the chuck upwards. Again, with a clean arbor and a clean taper on the inside and the jaws retracted, we'll insert this into the drill press and then rotate it until it kind of goes in a little bit deeper. Get your block in place, and with a few sharp raps, seat the chuck. Now, should you need to remove the chuck for any reason, the drill press is supplied with a drift key. It has a nice taper on it. Simply pull the chuck and quill assembly down, slide this into the side. You may need to, again, rotate the quill to get it to line up, and then with a couple of sharp raps, you can pop the chuck out if you need to go through and reseat it or do any servicing of the chuck. The next step is to assemble the pieces of the crank handle for the quill. You'll find that there's a sleeve with one end that has a recess in it and then a flat end. The recess end will accept this bolt. Remove the nut off of the end. Drop the bolt through. When you install the nut, don't tighten it all the way against the handle. You want to have some rotation on this handle, but you want to have it snug so it doesn't rattle. So I tighten it down and I'll back it off just a little bit. And then finally, I'll insert this into the end of the crank handle. And with the Allen wrench, I'll go through and run this down. And again, once you have it in place, you can go through and tighten down that nut and still make sure you have a little bit of play on the handle and that you still have good handle rotation. Now we'll install this on the drill press. Now on the shaft, locate the flat spot for the table lift handle. Make sure that your screw is backed out so you can slide that all the way in. I like to kind of flush it up with the end. Rotate this in by hand. Make sure I'm on the flat spot. And then finally, tighten this up with the Allen wrench. Now, with the table unlocked, I should be able to raise and lower the table easily with the crank handle. Now it's time to install the quill stroke handle. The quill stroke handle should have the hub mounted to it, and you notice that there's 2 keyways right here, and those will align with the key that's on the shaft, and this is taped in place. So take the Allen wrench, loosen up this bolt, and remove the bolt and washer, and then finally take a razor and just cut the tape gently here. And don't lose this key, you'll reinsert it before inserting the handle. If needed, wipe off the shaft itself before installing the handle. Make sure all the tape is out of the way. And then finally, slide the handle for the hub over the assembly here, and you can index this in a couple of different locations, and you'll select the one that's most comfortable for you. Most of the time I have this leaning forward, and we'll adjust the handle in just a bit. First off, take the Allen head bolt that we removed and reinsert it onto the drill press. And tighten that down firmly. Now I can go through and adjust and lock the handle down. The handle is telescoping, so I can slide the handle in and out if I need a little bit more leverage, or if you have long hands and are tall, you can pull it out and then lock it down with the Allen bolt on the back side. I'm going to set that about halfway and lock that down, and then finally I'll tighten down the nut right here. Now, if your drill press is equipped with the chuck guard, simply grab this, loosen up the bolt, and then you'll slide this over to the bottom of the quill, level it off and square it off. And finally, tighten this down with a screwdriver. If you can't hold the small nut there, just grab a little wrench to tighten that down. Now, when this is in use, you can loosen the wing nuts on the side and slide down the cover, and this will telescope in and out. As you pull the quill down and it comes up to the material, it'll telescope. And then if you're doing bit changes, put this in the up position and then pull forward and flip it back, and that gives you access to the chuck. If you're doing something with larger bits that don't fit with the requirements of the guard, just go ahead and simply loosen the guard, remove it, and set it aside for those types of operations. Now that we've got the drill press assembled, let's go ahead and power it up for the first time. There's a power switch. This is the main power switch on the back. I'll turn that on, and that powers up the drill press itself there, but I still have the E-stop pushed in. This is a press button to shut off the drill press, and then simply rotate this to pop it out. Once it's in the out position, you'll see the yellow ring and you'll see the screen light up. Now that the screen is lit up for the first time, you're going to see an E here, or an error code, and this is error 9, and that lets me know that the chuck key is out of its position. There's a handy chuck key holder on the side that holds the chuck key in place. Once I insert the chuck key, that error goes away. And that covers the basic assembly here of the DP20, and our DX20 has the same sort of assembly process. Now, for further instructions on adjusting the lasers and some other fine-tuning adjustments, drilling and tapping, and setting some of the program features, go over to our tech tip videos that are linked below and follow that link, go through and look at each of those tech tip videos, and they walk you through a lot of the processes for going through and using some of the advanced features of the DP20 drill press. If you have any further questions, you can go to our website at lagunatools.com, and you can click on the DP20 or the DX20 and have a look at some of the other features and specifications. Thanks for choosing Laguna Tools.